The Tyson versus Paul script was fully leaked all the way down to the bow Jake did in round 8. This profile on X posted it anonymously one day before the fight, explaining everything before deleting it today.
He's going to be more mobile. Yes, he's younger and he can move his feet around. So again, from round 1, nothing surprised me so far. Connects with a quick 1-2 combination. Timing appears slightly off. His punches a fraction slower than in his prime. Of course they are. So round 1 was pretty accurate, right? Now, I'm not going to go over all of this.
I'm easy to hate, and I intentionally, say things to make people hate me. I play the heel, I feed into that, and that's just what I like to do, and that's what entertainment is.
Mike Tyson has panicked after the Jake-Paul fight script just got leaked. The controversy surrounding the fight escalated when a Twitter user, Azar Lone, shared an alleged leaked script of the match. The post stated, "The below script is getting viral on the internet by the name a leaked script of Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul." The document reportedly outlined each round's events, fueling speculation that the fight's outcome was predetermined.
An opening bell rings and Tyson is showing flashes of his old form but slower than his prime. Round 2, Tyson comes alive but his breathing grows heavier. Round 3, Paul gains confidence and lands a sharp right that stuns Tyson. That's exactly what happened. Then round 4 and 5, the fatigue sets in strong for Tyson and Jake is landing a bunch of hits. Round 6, Jake showboats, which is the tongue thing he did here. Then on round 7, Jake plays it safe to not KO Mike. And round 8 wins by decision and bows at the end. This is crazy. Subscribe if you want to read it yourself.
The leaked script reportedly mirrored the events of the match, describing how Tyson would showcase his signature style in the first round before slowing down in subsequent rounds. Each move Tyson made seemed to align with the document, intensifying accusations of pre-planning.
Old form, which actually happened. As soon as the bell went, Mike Tyson came out with that head movement pushing forward. Immediately he stalks forward with his signature bob and weave style. Now let me just stop right there. Even before I seen this script, that's exactly what was going to happen. Like, what else would happen? Would Mike Tyson come out and start moving on his back foot and not bobbing and weaving his head like he always has done? Obviously, that's what he was going to do. Anyway, let's go on. Tyson leads with a few jabs. The jab is what you lead with, and yes, that's the punch that every fighter throws when the fight starts. So, okay, but let's go with it. Paul's youth shows with his superior mobility.
Twitter user Warren Budget criticized the bout, tweeting, "Everything was safe and under control for Jake. Bro ain't stupid. He wouldn't risk his career by losing versus a 58-year-old. Mike held back at start not to KO him. Rigged and scripted." This sentiment resonated with many fans who believed that the fight lacked authenticity and was orchestrated to protect Jake Paul's boxing reputation. The script suggests a staged or predetermined nature of the event, with Tyson initially showcasing his legendary fighting style, but ultimately tiring as the fight progresses. By the 5th round, Paul is depicted as landing a decisive right hook that knocks Tyson down, leading to a Paul victory. This script has drawn sharp criticism from boxing fans, with some claiming it indicates a rigged or fixed match.
Many are upset over the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight, with some people claiming that it was rigged because many people bet a lot of money and they lost a lot of money. Allegedly, there's this script that got leaked showing how the fight was supposed to go down between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. This was actually covered by World Star Hip Hop. So let's read this alleged script and see how the fight was supposed to go down. So round 1 was supposed to go like this. The opening bell rings and Tyson, showing flashes of his old form, immediately stalks forward with his signature bob and weave style. Paul maintains distance, circling the ring cautiously. Tyson lands a few jabs, but Paul's youth shows in his superior ability. Paul connects with a quick 1-2 combination before retreating. Tyson's timing appears slightly off, his punches a fraction slower than his prime. Round 2, Tyson comes alive, cutting off the ring more effectively. He lands a thunderous left hook to Paul's body that draws a collective gasp from the crowd. Paul weathers the storm, using his reach advantage to pepper Tyson with long jabs.
Another Twitter user, I Hold I Life, expressed frustration over the match's authenticity, stating, "The Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight was the worst scripted fight I have ever seen. Way to sell your legacy, Mike." The tweet accused Mike Tyson of compromising his legacy by participating in what many considered a staged spectacle, tarnishing his reputation in the process. Entertainment figure Showbiz the Adult reacted critically, noting that Tyson showed energy only in the first round. Fans compared this to Tyson's intense training footage, which displayed his explosive speed and power. Many questioned why his in-ring performance didn't reflect the same vigor.
I'm looking at Iron Mike, and there's a few things that I know now for sure. The Tooth Fairy isn't real. The Easter Bunny isn't real. The Wizard of Oz isn't real. And Father Time is undefeated. My $12,000 is gone. And it's just so funny that when I was looking at them fight, I was like, yeah, that's logical. And I recall, early in the fight, I was looking around. I happened to look around the stadium, and I stopped, and my eyes, I could not help but to dial in on one face, and that was the face of Bobby Brown. Brother, Bobby Brown was hurt. I was looking at Bobby, and I was like, Bobby was sitting there hurt. He was moist. And I'm looking at Bobby, and Bobby ended up looking at me, and all I can do was look at Bobby and say, I forgive you. He looked at me, he was extremely confused. But Bobby, if you're watching right now, don't worry, brother. I'll tell you what I mean. I've held a grudge with Bobby Brown for a while, since his booger sugar party he had with Iron Mike Tyson before the Buster Douglas fight. But now, after seeing the pain on Bobby Brown's face watching the fight, and it was somewhere around the third, I think it was after the third round.
Fans noted that the fight resembled a poorly executed show rather than a legitimate boxing match. The lack of knockouts and lackluster exchanges left many believing that the fighters were merely acting for a paycheck, further fueling the scripted narrative.
Excuse my voice, but one of you recently asked me what are my thoughts on the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. Do I think it was rigged or scripted? First of all, it was a 27-year-old versus someone who's pushing 60. So of course I was like, I don't see it. But then I looked at the training footage. The way Mike Tyson was training before this fight looked way different than the actual fight. He was sweating bullets, but still moving like crazy. Also, the leaked script for this fight that leaked months ago just resurfaced, and if you pause and read it and look at the fight, I'm telling you it's looking like it was scripted. Everyone thought Logan Paul was going to be biting the curve, yet we got Mike Tyson biting his glove.
Jake Paul and Mike Tyson have left many fans disappointed and frustrated.
Boring. It was extremely lackluster, and that was an extremely predictable thing to see from a mile away. Now, apparently the undercard fights that preceded the main event were extremely good, so hats off to all the fighters that really put their best foot forward and delivered an incredible performance in the middle of this fucking circus. I have said, since the very day this was announced, that it was a pathetic endeavor. I thought that this would only end in underwhelming, disappointing disaster. And it only got worse when Mike Tyson suffered a medical emergency and nearly died like 4 months before this fight even happened, which caused it to be pushed back in the first place. It is stupid.
The event, hyped as a historic showdown between a legendary boxer and a YouTuber turned fighter, failed to live up to expectations for a number of reasons.
I was very, very firm in that prediction. And there was no knockouts in this fight. Not only was there no knockouts, there was no anything worthwhile. As I said from the beginning, this is just a cash grab. It is two athletes getting a payday and nothing else. And from the highlights, using that word real loosey-goosey, that I watched of it, there wasn't even really much of a fight there. Mike Tyson is nearly 60 years old. He is a legend, but he's also a man. And there is no man that can beat Father Time. Time is undefeated and it always will be. And there are certain things that as you age, you just can't overcome in a physical sense like this. Honestly, I'm very impressed that Mike Tyson was able to even go the distance in this fight to actually finish it, because he was gassed really early from what I can tell. He ran out of steam by like the second round almost entirely, at least from what I've picked up on. Again, I didn't watch it live, but from everything I'm seeing, it seemed like he was completely out of energy, needed to construct additional pylons, like there were no resources left, yet he hung on and still absorbed like 200 punches from Jake Paul. So really, hats off to Mike Tyson for that, and overcoming all of the obstacles that he did to even fight in the...
Boxing analysts speculated that scripting the fight served to protect both fighters' legacies. If Tyson, a retired legend, lost to Paul, it would tarnish his storied career. Conversely, a loss for Paul to a 58-year-old would have jeopardized his future in boxing.
In this video, I'm gonna let you know whether the actual fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul was fixed and why it was fixed. Listen, understand it was a big nostalgia hit. It got our attention. It was a big financial promotion for everybody, and it actually worked. Now, the fight was absolutely terrible, and it feels like Paul was holding back his punches. At times, Mike Tyson was holding back punches. If these guys went full out on each other, right, it would look bad on Jake Paul for knocking out a guy that's twice his age, right? And it would look bad on Mike Tyson if he got knocked out as well. It would tarnish his legacy. Not only that, if Mike Tyson hit Jake Paul and knocked him out, it would ruin the legacy that Paul wants to leave as he continues to fight. He didn't want to tarnish that losing to a guy who's twice his age. So it would look back either way. So to answer your question, 100% this was fixed. I sat it out and talked about it. It went to decision because that was a neutral way to end it, and it went the full 8 rounds to keep people entertained. They didn't want it to end quickly. 100% it was fixed. It was smart on them. A big money grab. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below.
A staged outcome ensured that neither party suffered irreparable damage.
This is the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul drama explained. Oh yeah, it was scripted. It was leaked sometime yesterday after the fight. Just in case you guys missed it, Jake Paul won by a unanimous decision. But you know, even though that Jake Paul won, people are just clowning him. Saying things like this: Jake Paul should have went on WWE if he wanted to play fight, LMAO. Another person said this: it literally was just a cash grab. Why else would they play it on Netflix? Be so for real. And last but not least, yeah, because there's no way he lost to a Bizarre character. People are not holding back right now. People are also really upset that Mike Tyson really gave into the money over his legacy and are making memes like these because of it. Mike Tyson, after he and Jake Paul fooled us with this scripted fight. But in conclusion, the fight was fake. It was not real. I covered daily trends, news, and updates, so make you guys add me to come back.
The fight rules, criticized as being skewed in Paul's favor, included a clause penalizing Tyson financially if he knocked out Paul early.
Like it was a setup. But when Trick Daddy Dollars posted this on Instagram, it really just confirmed and solidified everything. So, Trick Daddy Dollars posted this on Instagram, and I'm going to read it to social media. So, it says the rules for the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight are designed to favor Jake Paul. These include favorable to Jake Paul. The contract will incentivize Mike Tyson to lose and give Jake Paul an opportunity to choose himself as a winner. The first stipulation in the contract will punish Tyson for knocking out Jake because he is paid on a sliding scale per round. If Tyson knocks Jake out in the first round, he would receive no money. If he knocks him out in the second round, he would only make a small amount of cash. For Tyson to make the most money, he needs to survive all 8 rounds, which means avoiding knocking Jake.
This stipulation allegedly incentivized Tyson to hold back, explaining why the fight went the full 8 rounds without any significant knockout attempts.
Paul out. If the fight goes to a split decision, it favors Jake Paul because the judges have to be approved by Jake Paul. I'm gonna let y'all read that. I knew it was a setup. Because you know what? Mike Tyson had a lot of open air opportunity to smash Jake Paul. And he didn't do it. And I'm just like, hit him, Mike. Like, if you heard me screaming in my house, I'm like, hit him. You know what I'm saying? He just would not hit him.
Many fans accused Jake Paul of paying opponents to lose, a recurring allegation in his boxing career. These claims painted Paul as a showman rather than a legitimate boxer, causing further backlash from the boxing community.
Like, hit him. You know what I'm saying? He just would not hit him. And it's just like, then you want us to respect Jake Paul as a fighter, but how you want me to respect this man as a boxer and he basically pays his opponents to lose? The culture didn't want to see that. All the 80s babies and people born in earlier time did not want to see that fight. And I think if I knew these rules, which I believe these rules make a lot of sense to why Mike Tyson really didn't fuck him up. And it's like, why do you think people want to continue to watch a Jake Paul fight when every time
Expectations for the fight were high, with many fans hoping for a competitive showdown. Instead, they witnessed a lackluster event that left audiences disappointed. Even Drake, who reportedly bet on Tyson, lost faith in the sport's integrity.
So allegedly the fight was scripted, and there's this leaked script for the fight basically breaking down every single round and what actually happened. I don't know the validity of this or not, if this is true, but I think if it is, what makes me the most angry is I had a flashback moment to, if you watch the documentary leading up to the fight, the one about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, when they take Tyson back to his neighborhood, he's walking around and he's interacting with everyone, and how many people were coming up to him and like taking pictures and stuff, and they're like, I got my money on you, Mike, I'm betting all my money on you, I'm gonna make money off you, Mike. And Mike doesn't not say nothing, he's like, yeah, do that, bet your money, and I'm just like, you're going back to your communities where people are having it hard as hell right now. We all know the financial situations going on in this world right now. And then to put that hope into people, especially if you did know that it was scripted, wouldn't you just stay neutral? Like, not only are you going back and just telling random people, like, hey, it's your money, you blow where you blow it, even though I already know what the outcome's gonna be, but going back to, like, oh, that is a... I hope this is not true.
Adding fuel to the fire, Tyson's pre-fight interview hinted at his indifference toward legacy, saying, legacy is nothing.
Perspective. If Mike Tyson threw that fight for $20 million, he sold his soul. Selling your soul is going against your I am. Selling your soul is going against your moral compass for financial gain or materialism, which is why you get this empty, soulless look in Mike's face, because it's regretful what he did. He told this young lady that legacy.
Fans interpreted this as evidence that Tyson may have agreed to a fixed fight for the reported $20 million payout, prioritizing financial gain over his boxing legacy.
It's nothing, and that he doesn't care about legacy, which is an indication that he sold his soul. We know Netflix sat him down. Hey, we just gotta make this look good. Hey, Mike, this is the new day and age. Think about the bag, think about the money. Let's not talk about the buffering fight that we had with Netflix last night, with all due respect. But I think Mike realized that signing a contract to do this and to script this fight was a big mistake.
Observers noted odd interactions during the match, with Tyson allegedly whispering instructions to Paul and referees signaling Paul to avoid specific moves. These moments further supported claims that the fight was choreographed rather than competitive.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson was 100% scripted. Mike Tyson repeatedly bit his boxing glove throughout the fight. When fights are scripted, fighters do weird gestures to signal that they're hurt. It's very possible Mike Tyson was biting on his glove to tell Jake Paul to calm down. Now, if that's not enough proof that this fight was scripted, in the middle of the fight, Mike Tyson is literally talking to Jake Paul while they are clinching. And in the middle of the fight, the referee told Jake Paul to stop measuring. For those of you who don't know, in boxing terms, measuring means that you're setting up for a knockout by seeing how far your opponent is with jab. The referee literally told Jake Paul to stop measuring, and before the fight, we see Mike Tyson and Jake Paul whispering stuff to each other. Mike Tyson biting on his gloves, whispering secrets to Jake Paul in the middle of the fight, and the referee literally telling Jake Paul to stop measuring during the fight. That should be enough proof that this fight is scripted.
The highly anticipated fight failed to live up to its build-up. Fans expected an electrifying performance from Tyson and a determined effort from Paul, but instead, they were left questioning the sport's integrity and the fighter's motivations. What do you think about the claims of a scripted fight? Are these allegations justified, or is it all just speculation?
I stayed up till 5 in the morning to watch Mike Tyson eat a glove. It was actually quite horrible to see. Just Jake keep jabbing him in the face. This old man, I was like, oh my god, that literally looks like my dad. That is my dad. Like, I'm not even joking. Here's a picture of my dad. It's similar if he had a tattoo there. I'm there 5 a.m. in the morning getting delirious. Is that my dad fighting Jake Paul? Yeah, it's actually kind of sad to see, since Mike Tyson, an absolute legend. I used to go on YouTube and search for Mike Tyson fights like for hours back in the day. Watch him knock people out for a packet of biscuits in 1990. And now he's got the build of like Shrek. His legs are just like blades of grass, carrying all this old, degenerated muscle and flab. And it's just horrible. I love Mike Tyson. It's horrible to see. Hope you're happy, Jake. You freak. Why do you want to beat up an old man? No one even gives you credit for that. They say he's 58. Leave him alone. Give him some porridge. Tuck him up in bed.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.